There's a number that you probably never see in your own business. It's the number of buyers who were ready, actually ready, and walked away anyway. Not because your offer was wrong, not because your price was too high, not because the market was cold. They walked away because somewhere along their journey, their belief broke before their action could catch up. You just did it yourself. You requested to learn more about Luxvoni, you reached the application page, and you stopped. That moment, the gap between I want to see more and I'm willing to be seen is the same moment that's quietly costing your business buyers every single day. You just felt it from the inside. Most founders never get to study that moment in themselves. You're about to. Here's what actually happened. At first, you were in control. You could read, evaluate, compare, judge, and stay private the entire time. Reading is passive, watching is passive. There's no risk to any of it. But the application page changed your state. It asked you to move from observation into exposure when it came to your business, your goals, your situation, your seriousness. The page allowed you to consume, the application asked you to commit. And the second commitment entered the equation, hesitation appeared. That hesitation wasn't random. It was your mind calculating the risk. What is this going to cost? Am I going to get pitched? What if they don't see the gap? What if I apply and realize this is exactly what I need? There's the part that most companies miss. They think action happens when interest is high enough. It doesn't. Action happens when certainty becomes stronger than the resistance. And when certainty breaks before action, people retreat. They close the page, they tell themselves they'll come back later, and in their mind, it feels reasonable. Most of the time, it isn't reason, it's just psychology. At Luxvoni, we call this the belief chain. Every action a human being takes begins before the action. It begins with something called a belief. And a belief creates thought. Thought leads to emotion. Emotion creates action or inaction. And action or inaction shapes their perception. And perception ultimately becomes their reality. Not reality as the world actually is. Reality as the person perceives it. That's why two founders can look at the same opportunity and make completely different decisions. One sees cost, the other sees investment. One sees risk, the other sees leverage. One sees the application and thinks, I don't want to get sold. The other sees the application and thinks that this is the first step towards finding the real constraint in their business. Same page, same offer, same opportunity, different belief, different reality. Now watch the chain run on you in real time. You saw something on the homepage at luxvoni.com. That created a belief that this might be different. That belief became a thought, the thought became a feeling, and the feeling became an action. You opted in. Stage one was successful based on your own action. Then you hit the second page, which consisted of an application. On that page, a new belief arrived. That belief drove your thoughts. And those thoughts were, I don't know what this costs. These guys are going to be too expensive. I'm not ready to be evaluated. Let me come back later. Those thoughts created emotion for you. That emotion created a perception that there was no need to complete the application right now. And that perception became your reality, which is why you didn't fill out the application and you're watching this video right now. That's the chain. See, you didn't stop because there was an application. You stopped because the belief that was activated in the moment that commitment was actually asked of you. That's the most valuable diagnostic that you're gonna get all month. Because if this can happen here with a single application after you already raised your hand, I can guarantee you it's happening in your own business constantly to buyers that you're never going to get back. Now run this lens over your own business. Someone fills out a form, they're warm, but your follow-up doesn't increase certainty. They go cold. Someone books a call, they have pain, they have real interest, they have a real problem. But your sales process doesn't diagnose the issue, control the frame, reduce the risk, or transfer certainty. So they delay. Let me think about it. Send me some more information. Let me talk to my partner. Most businesses call these objections. They're not. They're symptoms. The buyer didn't become certain enough to act. The business created interest, but not enough belief. Attention, but not enough trust. Motion, but not enough commitment. And that's where the opportunity dies. Not because the lead was bad, not because the market was slow, but the opportunity died because the system underneath it didn't move or understand the human being that was moving through it. You see, most marketing operates at the wrong altitude. It optimizes for what the buyer sees. The ad, the page, the buttons, the email, all visible, all measurable, and all the wrong layer. Because the war isn't being fought on the page. The war is being fought inside the buyer's head. And most businesses are not even on that battlefield. A funnel isn't a page. A funnel is a sequence of beliefs. An ad isn't just creative. It's the interruption of perception. A sales call isn't a conversation. It's a transfer of certainty. And an application isn't a form. It's a macro commitment device. When the commitment device isn't engineered correctly, people stop, just like you stop. We used it strategically, but most don't even know it exists to use. This is the layer Luxvoni is built to diagnose. We don't look at your business as a collection of disconnected tactics. We look at the entire acquisition system as a psychological and operational machine, where interest spikes, where certainty breaks, where trust fails, where the buyer retreats back into delay. If you can find where the belief breaks, you stop guessing. You stop randomly changing tactics, you stop throwing more traffic into a system that hasn't earned it, and you stop blaming the buyer when the system failed to guide them. That's what we inspect here at Luxvoni. That's what Luxvoni builds, and that's why this application exists. The application isn't where you commit to Luxvoni. The application is where your business becomes visible enough to actually be diagnosed. If we review it and we can't help you, we will flat out tell you. If we see a real opportunity, the next conversation will be grounded in your actionable business, not just generic advice. But the application is the line. The founder who wants more information from the founder who is ready to find the constraint in their business. It separates passive interest from serious evaluation, browsing from building. So here is the decision in front of you. You already know something made you stop scrolling on the previous page. You already know your business is leaking buyers you should be keeping, and you already know the gap between where the business is and where it's capable of being is not a tactical problem. It is a systems problem you've been trying to solve with tactics. You can close this page and go back to the same unanswered questions you had before you got here. Or you can complete the private application and let us inspect where the belief break is happening, not because you're ready to buy from us, but because you're ready to stop guessing. Fill the application out. If there's a fit, we will reach out. If there isn't a fit, we'll let you know, and we will send you some invaluable resources to help you get to the next level. The next serious step isn't about thinking. It's about diagnosis. Complete the private application below, and we'll see you on the other side.